I honestly have no idea how this 5k race is going to go. For the last 4 months I have been struggling with an Achilles injury and this is my first race back. And right now I don't know if I'm in 16:30 5k shape or 18:30. But at the start of this year I set a goal for myself to run under 16 minutes for the 5k. But after my recent long injury period, I think I'm pretty far away from that right now. So this race is basically a test. First, can my Achilles actually handle a full effort again? And secondly, where is my shape really at? I've done some alternative training, some easy rehab running, but almost nothing close to real race pace yet. So running at these paces at the start here feels pretty unusual for me, but I still want to start at a decent pace because I hope that my sort of maintenance training that I've been able to do the last months has allowed me to keep some shape and will allow me to run under 17 minutes today. But honestly, again, I have no real idea of where my shape is really at. Out from the start here, it feels surprisingly good. I glanced at my watch here and realized that I'm running a bit faster than planned, but it feels controlled. There's a front group that is pulling away and I'm sitting in this second group here, and in my head right here I'm debating, should I try to bridge up to the front and put in a hard effort to catch those guys and don't let them get away? But I decide to stay here, at least for now, to just get through the first kilometer and see how it feels after that. And honestly, I'm very happy that I didn't push harder at this point, but we will get to that later. First kilometer done in 3:20, and that's already 3 seconds faster than my quite optimistic plan of going under 17 minutes going into this race. But I'm feeling really good, so I'm not too worried and just try to settle in it to a good rhythm here behind this guy in front of me to be able to draft of him and save some energy in this early stage of the race. I hit the second kilometer in 3:21, still feeling good and still a bit faster than my planned pace strategy to run under 17 minutes. But at this point it actually feels sustainable. I'm still in the second group, just trying to stay as relaxed as possibly, and honestly the best thing so far is that my Achilles doesn't hurt at all, and that's the number one thing I care about this whole race. If it starts hurting, I'm stopping immediately because my main priority now is to get back to pain-free training. And as mentioned, that is one of the things I want a really good answer to after this race. If I can start adding in some more real speed work into my training again, or if I need to keep holding my training back a bit to take it safe. Because if I want to have any chance at a sub 16 5k this year, I really need to get back to proper training soon. And honestly, I haven't been this nervous going into a race in a very long time. The combination of not knowing how my Achilles will feel, if it will start to hurt or not, and not having any idea of where my shape is really at was a weird place to enter a race from. But so far it actually feels surprisingly good. But looking at the data now on screen here, you can see that my heart rate is higher than I would like it to be this early into a 5k. Already here sitting at 96% of my max heart rate. To collect all the data on screen and to help me pace this race, I got good help from the sponsor of this video, Coros. For this race I'm using the Coros Pace 4 paired with the heart rate monitor and the Pod 2 to get really responsive and reliable data both during the race and for analyzing it afterwards. What I also done for this race is use their brand new feature, Pace Strategy, that came to the Coros watches with a recent firmware update, where you basically build your pacing plan before the race. You can either base it just on distance if it's a flat course like I'm running today, or you can base it on a specific route if you want it to take elevation and hills into account. For this one I just set it to a 5k distance since it's a completely flat race, and then you can choose your goal time and if you want to run even splits or a negative or a positive split. I went for an even pacing, trying to run a 16:55 for this 5k. You then just sync your pace strategy to your watch and it will give you continuous feedback during the race on how you're doing compared to your plan. I really like this new function since pacing is such an important part of all racing, even though I probably should have listened a bit more to my actual plan in these early kilometers. And one thing I love with Coros after using their watches for years now is that once you get a watch, they just keep adding features like this one through firmware updates. So it almost feels like getting a new watch every now and then. Third kilometer done, a 3:23 kilometer split. That's exactly on my planned pace. So at this point, if I just hold this, I'm going to go under 17 minutes, around 16:50 if I can just hold this pace, which would be really good and something I would be really happy with based on my poor preparations leading into this race. But right here, this whole race experience shift for me. I go from feeling surprisingly good to feeling honestly really bad. I try to remind myself that it's just 2 kilometers left, but very quickly the lack of real speed training is starting to show and feel in my legs. I try to hold on to the two runners in front of me that is running a really evenly and well-paced race, but it's getting harder and harder to follow them. At this point, with about 1.6 kilometers left, I have to let the two guys in front go. And honestly, I'm just done at this point. This is where the reality of my shape really hits me. Running a 16:50 or faster today, that was just too ambitious. But maybe if I can just fight hard in the last part of this race, I can still finish in a sub 17. My 4th kilometer split is 3:27, my slowest so far in the race, but I'm still in the range for a sub 17 with a decent last kilometer. But yeah, that's easier said than done right now. Because I don't know if I'm even going to get to the finish line at this point. Every step is a struggle and it hurts so much, and this is exactly what happens when you go out a bit too fast compared to your shape. You end up running a positive split, meaning the last part of the race is the slowest part, which is not what you want because it's not the fastest way to run a race, but it's also a really harsh and painful racing experience. Where you, instead of feeling strong and feeling that you dial up the pace and finish with a strong kick, you just fight for your survival in the last part of the race. But again, going into this race, I had no idea where my fitness was at least I tried to be ambitious. Still, right now, I really wish that I have just started a bit easier, because this, it's just pure pain and it's honestly a bit demoralizing as well, knowing that just 6 months ago I ran the first 5k in a 10k race quite a bit faster than this, and then finished with an even stronger 5k without it even feeling close to this hard. I fight for every meter at this point and just want this whole race to be over. And yeah, I've clearly lost a lot of fitness during this injury period, but honestly, I take that because the most important thing with today was that my Achilles is feeling fine. And I'm just so grateful that I can be out here again, running hard, and if I can start training properly again, it will be very interesting to see how fast I can improve from here. That's also why I wanted to race today, because if you look at the race the right way, no matter what happens, you get something good out of it. Either you perform well and build on the positive momentum from that, or you get a reality check like I did today, and can use that as motivation to improve. And for me, this was a clear reminder that once again, training works, and I haven't been able to do enough of it lately. But now that starts again. I finished the last kilometer with the slowest kilometer split of the day with a 3:35, and I crossed the finish line in 17:09. Subscribe if you want to see if I can take this all the way down towards a sub 16 this year. And a big thanks to Coros for creating these great watches for us runners. If you want to check out the Pace 4 and all their other products, there's a link in the description. Train smart, have fun, and I will see you in the next video.